Okay, here we are, back. This is part two of what we're talking about: effective communication styles and communication, effective communication as it pertains to prevention. Now, I wanted to do this one while I was cruising along here because I just had a lady. She came to an intersection. It was a four-way intersection, right? I came through the intersection first. Then she came to the intersection just seconds after I did. And so I proceeded to get ready to go. She jumps on her horn, blows her horn all crazy, and flips me what appears to be the bird, the middle finger. She's calling me some names, which I couldn't hear exactly what she was calling me. And she zoomed through the intersection, right? That is not effective communication. Now, I wanted to mention that, right, and to talk to you now while that's fresh in my head about communication. And one of the reasons why, in order to understand how something works, sometimes you have to understand first why it didn't work. Does that make sense? You know, if I was in relationships and I was in all these relationships and I kept saying, man, my relationships just keep on failing. My relationship keep on failing. So you keep on searching for another relationship and another relationship and they just keep failing one after another. Well, at some point you need to stop and say, well, hey, you know what? Maybe I need to look at why are all of my relationships failing? Why are they failing? Why do they keep on failing? In order to me to find a solution in order to cause my relationships to start succeeding instead of failing. Does that make sense? Okay, great. So, a lot of the reasons why communications fail, when we go to talk to somebody or go to express ourselves, is because everybody brings to the table with themselves, brings a bag of emotions, a big crazy bag of emotions, which is crazy. Like, if I'm here to have a discussion with you, I may be passionate about this topic. It's like the riots that are going on right now and the looting and stuff that's going on right now and a lot of the protesting that's going on right now. You have people on two opposing sides that are very passionate about what's going on, and instead of articulating effectively what they're feeling or what they're thinking or what their thought is, they're very passionately getting their feelings expressed. Some of it through violence, some of it through breaking windows, through vandalizing. Some of the police are expressing, a lot of the police, listen, communication, this right here is very important for police officers and law enforcement officers, and I'm hoping all of them take advantage of this right here and pay attention to this video. Because you have a lot of police officers that have a lot of pent up feelings and emotions and thoughts that they haven't been able to articulate, and they go ahead and express that at the end of a club or at the end of a barrel of a gun, or when they're out policing and whatnot and somebody gets irate and it triggers something inside of them, and they go ahead instead of handling the situation the way the protocol calls for them to handle it, well, they go ahead and vent that. It happens. It's happening every day. And it doesn't just happen to them, but it happens with us as well. And what happens is we go to express something, and instead of us taking and effectively expressing that thing, taking our time to try to articulate and express, we let our emotions and our feelings get involved in that thing. And when that happens, man, listen, you can throw effective communication right out of the door, because it's just not going to take place. It's just not going to happen. It's just going to be a bunch of people yelling and screaming at each other like we see on TV every night now. People yelling, people screaming, people very passionate about what they feel and what they think, and not being able to effectively get that out to the other side. So then they revert to other things on both sides of the fence. So when you want to express yourself, remember we talked about yesterday, and I hope that you put that into play. I hope that you tried that, you practiced that. Go ahead and get in the mirror, look at yourself, see how you look when you're saying what you're saying. You know, some of you officers do that too. You know what I mean? You walking up to people and talking about, listen, I don't care what they talk about in roll call, all of that. Hey, whatever you got to do, you just get them to the ground and subdue them and whatnot. Hey, man, everything doesn't call for that. We watched that little girl get kicked on TV last night. She was sitting down there in the middle of the street and she got kicked by the cops because she wouldn't get up. She was sitting there protesting. Okay? Everything is not a physical response. Practice getting in the mirror. Look at how you look. How do you think that the other people are going to take what you're saying? Because a lot of times what we're saying is not what we're thinking. The message that they're getting on the other side of our words is not the message that we're really trying to convey, the thought that's in our minds. So take your time. Take your time. And think about, listen, here's a very important part of effective communication, and it's one that escapes us all the time because people don't like to employ it, and it's called empathy. It's a small word, but it has a heavy meaning to it. You know what empathy is, for those that don't know? Empathy is putting yourself in the other person's position and seeing things from their view. That's being empathetic. Not sympathy, but empathy. Looking at life and the situation from the other person's perspective. Now that oftentimes is difficult for anybody to do. Especially if you're dealing with, since it's what's going on right now, we'll talk about that. Let's just say that you have a very racially charged atmosphere. And on one side of the fence, you have some racists who are clearly in dislike of you because of the color of your skin. If you want to effectively communicate with them and get your view out, man, being empathetic with some racists, people will say, well, man, you done lost your mind. How am I going to be empathetic with them? And I know they hate me because of, well, listen, if you want to be able to effectively deal with them and get the outcome that you want, you need to first understand their line of thinking. You have to understand, why do you hate me? Because of the color of my skin. Why? You got to understand why. Once you understand why the person feels the way that they do about you, because of whatever reasons, once you understand why they think that way, why they feel that way, then you know how to deal with them more effectively. Does that make sense? Because it makes sense to me. I employ that all the time. There's a plethora of people in this world that don't like me just because I'm an African American, handsome brother. A lot of them don't like that, and I'm educated. I don't hold a bunch of degrees and this and that and the third, but I am very well read and I'm very well traveled. and I've acquired quite a bit of knowledge, and I pride myself in learning new things every day. And there's people that don't like me just because of that. Some from all races. And some just don't like me because of the color of my skin. But guess what? I deal with these people effectively, and I get the outcomes that I want because I was empathetic first. I didn't go in there with my feelings charged and, I know you're racist. I know you don't like me because I'm like, okay, well, they know it and you know it. So what? What have you established? What have you accomplished? No, but I go in and I find out why it is that you feel that way. Because once I know why, well, then I know how to deal with you effectively to get the outcome that I want. See? It works. It definitely works. That's why I'm successful, and that's why you'll be successful too. Okay, that's it for today. We're going to come back to you tomorrow. We're going to have some more stuff for you. And remember, when you come up on a situation, don't put your feelings first. Put that mind of yours and your thoughts first. Think before you speak. Think before you act. Think before you react. Think, because you're very intelligent. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not. This is Fred Williams. God bless you. And I hope that this blessed your day and helped you to be able to prevent from doing some things or from allowing some things to reoccur in your life. You take care. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow.